Wow, these effects already look way better than the previous live-action Avatar, is what I would probably say if it was light enough for me to actually see them.
Get that to the Earth King. They're going to start a war.
And after they've started their war, Square Enix will probably start one with you as well for stealing their chocobos.
We aren't the real target.
This seems like something a character would realize internally rather than say out loud, but the scriptwriters thought audiences would be too stupid to understand the Fire Nation's true target, so they had him say it anyway. And then I send it.
For millennia, the four nations have lived in harmony. A peace made possible by the Avatar, the one person with the ability to master all four elements.
Changing the original narration. There's no need to try and make it more grand or artsy. This is like each new Spider-Man movie trying to add their own spin on with great power comes great responsibility. The words are already perfect. Leave them be. Find other places to set your adaptation apart.
And so, Fire Lord Sozin, the ruthless leader of the Fire Nation, believes this is his moment to launch a merciless campaign to conquer the world.
You just did a decent job of showing us all of this. You don't have to also do the telling now.
An airbender who may not be ready for the responsibility of becoming the Avatar.
You're still doing it. You just told me the main theme of the entire episode. That's it. Your narration privileges have been revoked. This B looks like an S to me, so it looks like The Last Airbender. This is why fonts matter, people. Oh, neat. I wonder what Wong and Madison are watching today. The f***? How is Aang flying without his glider? The last airbender I saw do that had to watch his girlfriend's head combust before he unlocked that ability.
There may come a day when you wish you'd spent more time with your teachers.
Followed by a pause so pregnant it was supposed to have triplets a week ago.
How many are coming?
Wow, the arrival of those nomads answered Aang's question right after he asked it. It's so cool that they mastered the elements of air and dramatic timing.
I never asked to be special.
Disney princess a little harder, why don't you?
I don't want the power.
Which is why you will make a great Avatar.
This is also getting a little too season 8 Jon Snow for my taste. Does this season end with Aang snapping for no reason and burning the North Pole to the ground? Because we've now already got Aang saying, I don't want it.
I'm scared of my power. I'm scared of being alone.
Long monologues where your main character explains his exact mental state to a hybrid nightmare animal.
Scared.
He's scared, y'all. Do you get it? What would I have done if he hadn't told me? Taken cues from his acting? Inferred information from the scene? How the hell could I manage that? What the f***? Are all firebenders Johnny Storm in this series? Did they forget to yell flame on before flying up into the sky?
Brothers and sisters, we're under attack!
This is why you need a horn or a really big drum. No chance this guy's waking me up. I am burning alive in bed. The way this firebender in the background burns leaves me questioning their armor. In a military unit where fire is thrown this way and that, wouldn't you want to fireproof your clothing? Yet this dude burns like a bonfire at a Yankee Candle store. Seems like a design flaw to me. Oh boy, dark footage and shaky cam, my favorites. I love not being able to see what's going on. You know the great thing about animation? You don't have to darken the screen to cover your terrible special effects.
That's it. Get quiet. Right into the corner.
Stuffing children in a corner isn't an escape plan. It just makes things more efficient for the attackers. Have they not seen Revenge of the Sith? Why must the younglings always die? Oh, look, flying directly at sea level wasn't such a great idea. I made a large bubble like that in the bath once without even moving my hands. Am I a waterbender? Why are you screaming? My local water park's lazy river is scarier than this. Gotta admit, didn't expect you to work a skybeam into your Avatar adaptation, Netflix. I'm almost impressed. You joined the excellent company of other projects like Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles movie and the first Suicide Squad. Well done.
Sometimes light beams are nothing more than celestial glimmers in the winter sky.
And other times they're a portal for Chitauri to fly through and attack New York City. It's a 50-50 coin toss, really. You can't be too careful, Iroh.
My father has banished me until I find the Avatar, and that's exactly what I'll do.
Right there, in less than 10 seconds, I've learned everything I needed to learn about Zuko. It didn't take some ham-fisted narration or a repetitive 3-minute monologue. And I'm sending the fact that you knew this and did the other things anyway. That is a terrible painting. Aang isn't shivering nearly enough as he steps outside. I know he's been in an iceberg for 100 years, but that boy went from a bed of furs to Antarctic air with nothing but monk robes. He should be sneezing and running his ass back inside looking for a hot bowl of badger mole soup.
How did I get here?
You tell me.
You want the boy who was previously unconscious and frozen in ice to tell you how he got to your village? Were you not the one who carried him here?
Sky bison. Sky bison.
Repeating it doesn't help.
Sokka would be the chief at TVSins.
Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony.
Previously on a cartoon that told this story much better.
He is the last airbender.
Roll air commercials.
No one comes here. It's quiet and hidden.
Except that's not true because you apparently come there all the time. I think you meant no one else comes here. And it's not hidden because we could clearly see the ship from where you were standing outside of the village. Do words mean nothing in this world?
By feeling the energy around you, you can find balance. By finding balance, you can feel the energy.
Instructions unclear, accidentally summoned a demon.
I wasn't even really trying.
Thing the writers for the show said right after production wrap somehow makes it into the episode.
You are the Avatar.
It really is a shame the writers left Casey Camp Horneck with nothing better to do than recite the original opening text and say obvious things like this. She really is a great actor. Go watch her in Reservation Dogs. With better writing, she'd have made a phenomenal Gran. So here's a sin for such poor use of indigenous talent.
When the world needed the Avatar the most, he vanished. Because he's a coward.
So? He's 12. Maybe cut him some slack. Also, he didn't vanish because he's a coward. He vanished because he thought Appa was an amphibious exploring vehicle.
We merely seek someone who does not belong here.
Could you be more specific? This is about as useful as Mal asking which henchman tracked him and Zoe answering, the ugly ones, sir.
Sokka, don't you see? He's the Avatar.
And he lied to us about it.
No, he didn't. You never once asked him if he was the Avatar. Even when Gran said he was it, he didn't deny it.
That's what the Avatar is. He's hope. And we need that just as much as we need food and shelter.
Thinking you can eat hope. Running in terror toward the people you're trying to protect.
No one has ever fought for me before.
I mean, except for Monkeyatso. F*** him, am I right?
I think you're the bravest person I've ever met.
Doing your bravery rankings without properly considering all of the monks who died in a desperate struggle to protect their home.
You're in charge.
Repeating the cycle of trauma that was forced upon you as a teenager by immediately putting a younger teen in charge as you leave the village. Like father, like son.
But peace comes from respecting life, not killing and destroying.
Don't forget treaties, ceasefires, armistices, and other things that only barely work, but we're desperate for because the alternatives are so much worse. Did the guard just have those keys resting gently on his belt? Hey, what was that sound? Sounded a lot like keys. Never mind. Must have been the wind. I shall stop caring now.
There's no way you're getting me on that.
Character says there's no way something will happen, only to immediately cut to that very thing happening cliche. So, Appa can fly higher than sea level. Interesting. Yes, I'm still mad about it. Zuko has finally caught the Avatar, this great warrior, and he leaves him completely unguarded. I mean, who says a cell could even hold him, but you just stick him there and knock off for drinks?
The Avatars.
Putting a notebook with valuable information inside your clothing. Do you know what swamp ass does to a book, Aang? Let's just say I have an issue of Detective Comics that'll never be readable again. Good to know this version of Aang got a specialty degree in flying techniques from the Prometheus School of Running Away from Things. I'm not even going to bother complaining about the timing because how did no one see them coming? It's a giant flying bison and it comes out of nowhere? These fireballs are so slow they couldn't even hit Mario. Also, I know they're trying to build tension, but Zuko looks like he's thinking about a burrito he's microwaving. Yeah, I'd be surprised too if in one day I went from being able to lift a small sphere of water to being able to lift a geyser from hundreds of feet below me to block a fireball. I'd be so surprised I may even be tempted to call it bullshit.
You're strong and kind and generous.
All things we've still seen zero evidence of in this hour of television.
I can't imagine a better person to have been given this power.
The very first thing he did after learning he had the power was to fly his bison into a storm and nearly die, leaving the Air Nation defenseless against a Fire Nation attack. If Aang had remained at the temple and activated his avatar state, they'd probably still be alive, so your imagination needs work, Yatso.
They made the ultimate sacrifice. For me.
Actually, they didn't sacrifice for you. They died because of you. There is a difference.
It's only after we've lost something that we realize how much it means to us.
Ending the first episode of your beloved fantasy epic as if it's an episode of Grey's Anatomy.
I'm melting! He said, I need to remember who I am.
Remember. Come with me if you want to live.
You are the Avatar.
Yeah, no Sherlock.